Hello everyone. Okay, here we are to solve the homework questions about composition of function. Let us start taking correction from question number 4. As you see here, question number 4 it says f of x is equal to 3x minus 2 and g of x is equal to 5x plus 1. Keep this in your mind. And then it says compute or evaluate in the at the indicated values. The first one, A, it says fog 3. It says fog 3. This is the same as f of g of 3, which is equal to f of, first of all, we have to get g of 3. G of 3 means we are going to insert 3 in place of x here. First of all, g of x, we know g of x is equal to 5x plus 1. So when you say g of 3, you need to substitute 3 in place of x. It means 5 times 3, then plus 1. 5 times 3, 15, then plus 1 will be 16. So g of 3 is the same as 16. In the next step, you need to find f of 16. F of x, already we know it. F of x is equal to what? 3x minus 2 given. So when you say f of 16, I'm going to substitute 16 in place of x. 3 times 16 minus 2. 3 times 16, you know, it is 48. 48 minus 2 will be 46. Therefore, this result will be 46. That's going to be the first answer, A. Okay, let's continue the second one. The second one, it says f of 0, because f of 0 means, or f of f. F of f, we are going to compose the function itself with itself. So f of 0, first of all, let's find f of 0. What's f of 0? F of 0 means substitute 0 in place of x here. So it's going to be 3 times 0, then minus 2. 3 times 0, you know, 0. So 0 minus 2 will be negative 2. So this result will be f of negative 2. Then again, like the inner one, it's negative. Then again, substitute negative 2 in place of x for the function f, which is going to be 3 times negative 2 minus 2, which is negative 6 minus 2, which will be negative 8. That is answer for B. Okay, next one. I will try to do one question more, and then I will leave the rest for you here. The next one is E. Let's do E. It says f compose g compose f of 2. Here 3 functions, actually 2 functions are the same but composed 3 times. So this is the same as f of g of, again, f of what? 2. We need to close everything. The inner one is the last one, and then the middle will be the g, and then the beginning will be f. So we'll start from the inner. What is f of 2? F of 2 means insert 2 in the original function of f, which is 3 times 2, 6, which is, you have to substitute and get the result. 3 times 2 will be 6, 6 minus 2 will be 4. So this is the same as f of g of 4. How 4 comes? F of 2. Substitute 2 in place of here. Again, g of 4. What is g of 4? Insert 4 here. 5 times 4, 20 plus 1, which is going to be 21. So what left now? I do have f of 21, which is, again, I will substitute 21 in place of f again now, because f of 21 means 3 multiply 21, then minus 2. 3 times 21 will be 63 minus 2, which is going to be 61. So that's the way how you are going to evaluate or compute a composed function at a given point. Okay, we can continue now to the next question. The next question, number 5, it says find f of g of x, or g of f of x, and f of x, and g of x if they exist. But for A, f of x given and g of x given. So we need to find everything for A. Again, when you go to B, f and g we do have, and we need to find everything. So we have 4 questions. We will do it 4 times, that means 16 times. So I'm going to do like 1 or 2 questions, then the remaining I'll leave it to you. For example, let's do A together. A, f of x I have, g of x I have. F of x is equal to 2x minus 1, and g of x is equal to 4x plus 2. So first one, Roman number 1, what we are asked to do? F of x. This means we will do f of x, which is f of, what's f of x? F of x is 2x minus 1, which is again f of 2x minus 1. Means, remember, what does f of x do? To multiply by 2, then subtract 1. So if you are given, for example, f of x, already f of x is given already, 2x minus 1. Instead of x, what if I make it y? It will be 2y minus 1. Instead of y, what if I make it f of like something? I can say something. This is the same as 2 times that something minus 1. So consider this one like something, f of something. So what to do? 2 times the something one, which is 2x minus 1, then minus 1. Because f, what does f do? Just will multiply by 2 and then subtract 1. So that's what I did. Because we are doing f, then multiply by 2. It will be 4x minus 2 minus 1. Or multiply 2 times x. 2x will be 4x and 2 times 1 will be 2. Let's correct the 4. So 4x minus 2 minus 1. Okay, so this is going to be 4x minus 3. That is the answer for A. I mean, this one is for Roman number 3 actually, not A. Roman number 3 is f of fx. Roman number 1, it says f of g of x. Okay, let's do now that. Okay, Roman number 1 says f of g of x, which is f of g of x, which is f of, what is g of x? Let's get it from here. G of x is 4x plus 2, 4x plus 2. Then f of this, like I said before, f of x, what does it do? F of x says 2x minus 1. To multiply by 2 and subtract 1. Okay, the f rule says multiply by 2 and subtract 1. So if I say f of something, as I said before, what to do? 2 times that something minus 1 you have to do. Because the rule of f of x says, let me write it down here to use the space properly, f of something means 2 times the something, then minus 1 you need to do. Because f of x means 2x. So consider this one like something, the inner part. So what to do? 2 times this something, that is 4x plus 2, then minus 1. Then multiply 8x plus 4 minus 1, which will be 8x plus 3. That is the answer for first one, Roman number 1, and Roman number 3 we did it. So now let's go to gof x. Let's rub it to use the space. Okay, the second one, gof x. What does this mean? G of f of x, which is g of, what's f of x? 2x minus 1. In place of f of x, I substitute 2x minus 1. Then what does g rule says? G of x made to multiply by 4, the x, then r2. So if I say g of something, what will happen? 4 multiplied with something, then r2. So consider this one like something. So it's going to be 4 times the something, 2x minus 1, then plus 2. Then the 4 will multiply each of it. So it's going to be 8x minus 4 plus 2, which is 8x minus 2. Because negative 4 plus 2 will be negative 2. So the answer will be finally 8x minus 2. This is 8. That's the answer for Roman number 2. So done. For only A we are doing, remember, the B, the C, and the D, the remaining will be done the same pattern. So I will do just one of it. Okay, the last one, Roman number 4. What does it say? Gof x. Or you can say g of x, composition of itself, which is g of, what's it? G of x? 4x plus 2. So again, like I said, what's g of x? G of x means 4x plus 2. So whatever the variable here to be multiplied by 4, then add 2. So like again, g of grade 11 student means 4 times the 11 student, then plus 2. So consider this one like grade 11, g of grade 11, consider. So it's going to be 4 times 4x plus 2, then plus 2. Okay, this whole thing will be substituted in place of x. So I did it, so multiply by 4 from here. It will be 16x plus 8 plus 2, which is 16x plus, that is the answer. Okay, this is a way how to do question number 5. All the remaining will be done by the same pattern. Let's add one more question, then I will skip it. Let's add one more question. I think it's better to do the last one. F of x is equal to 3x and g of x is equal to the power of x. This is f and this is g. So let's do first one. What does it say? F of g of x. That is the first one, which is f of what's g of x? G of x is to the power of x, which is f of, like the f, what does the f rule says? Multiply by 3 only. So whatever you input here to be multiplied by 3. So our input here is 2x to the power of x. So 3 times to the power of x. Just keep it as it is. You can't do anything. Can we simplify? That is the answer. Second one, what to do? G of f of x. That means g of what's f of x? 3x. Which is, what does the g do? The g rule says just take it as an exponent. Any variable you put, make it as an exponent of 2. So I'm going to make this the whole, but the exponent of 2. Because if this is y, this is going to be y, the exponent. So what to do? To the power of 3x. You can simplify this one. Like to the power of 3, the whole the power of x. You can write it like further simplification. You can write it, you can keep it. This is a simplified form actually, but if you want, you can write it in another way. 3x means 3 times x, so I can just put it inside together the 2. 2q means 8, 8 the power of x. You can write it in this way or this way, it's okay. So that's the answer for first one and second one for question number 5D. For 5D, we did the 2 methods, and let's go to the third and the fourth one. Okay, the third one, for this f of x, that means, which is f of, what's f of x? It is 3x. Again, what does f rule says? Just multiply by 3. Anything you give, input as f, it will be multiplied by 3. So 3 times what? The 3x. Because our input here is 3x for f. For f, the input 3x means you need to multiply by 3 itself. So the answer will be 9x. That is number 3. Number 4, go g of x. That means g of, what is g of x? To the power of x. Now again, what does the g rule says? The g rule, take the the exponent. Anything input you have, for example, if this is y, this is going to be y. So take it the exponent of whatever the variable you take as an input, it's going to be an exponent. So our input here is to the power of x. So make it the exponent to the power of, again, to the power of x. That's going to be the answer for number 4. Because our input is to the power of x. So for what? For g. But the g rule says what? G of x already to the power of x. What if it is g of y? To the power of y, always. What if it g of something? To the power of something. So our something here, as you see, this one. So that something is going to be as an exponent, will be taken. So that's the way how to do question number 5 will be completed in this manner. Good luck. Okay, let's continue to the next question. Question number 7. Here we are. It says express f as a composition of two simpler functions, f h of g of x. Like f will be, write it f as f of g. I mean h of g, sorry. The textbook, the question says express it as hog means, h of g of x. So for a, which one is the inner function? Here in a, there are two functions composed. What and what? Square root function is there, and again in the square root inside there is linear function. So the inner function is the one which is found in g of x. It should be the inner function is the linear one. So you can take g of x as 3x plus 1. The outer function is h of x. The outer function is the square, so we can take square root of x. Now, if you compose, you will get the result. H of g of x, if you make it, h of what is g of x? Our g of x is 3x plus 1. Then again, h of this thing. First of all, h of x, it will put in the square root. So put everything in the square root, 3x plus 1. So it will give you the function. So what is asked? We are asked what are the functions which are composed and give you this result. Like name those two functions as h and g. But the g must be the inner and the h is the outer. So when you see a, there are two functions composed. The outer function is the square root one, and the inner function is the linear function. So I take the inner function, the linear one, as g of x, and the outer function, which is the square root one, as h of x. So square root of what? Square root of x. It doesn't do anything. The linear function doesn't change anything. Like it's written inside the square root only. So h of x will be square root of x only. If it was a square, I can make it square root of x squared. But it doesn't, so I will keep it as it is. What about b? B also two functions composed as you see. One square of square, the square one is the inner one, the outer one is linear, 16 x minus 3 I can say. So we are talking about h of g of x. The inner function will be here this time g of x, it has to be x squared, and h of x must be 16x minus 3. Okay, I can make the first one as linear because two functions composed and give you quadratic means either of the two must be quadratic. So I take g of x, the inner one, as quadratic. Now compose it and check h of g of x. If you make it to be h of what's g of x? X squared. So what does h will do? Multiply by 16, then add minus 3. So this the x squared will be multiplied by 16. 16x squared and minus 3. That's going to be the answer for the second one. So there are two functions here. What is what? Quadratic, and the other linear. What is a linear one? 16 minus 3x. We made it. What about the quadratic? Just I take it x squared. Okay, next one. Next one again, there are two functions here composed each other. What is what? One exponential function to the power of something you can see. The other one is the exponent itself is another kind of function. It's quadratic. So we can say f of x already given to it. What is that? To the power of 3x squared plus 1. So the exponent, I can take it the inner function because we are going to express h of g of x. So the inner function, you can take it the quadratic. G of x, the final outcome, like the final substitution. G of x, I can take it the quadratic, 3x squared plus 1. This is 3. And what about h of x? H of x, I can say just simply to the power of x. Now if you compose, like g of x first, 3x squared plus 1, then h of it means you are going to replace it in place of x in the exponent. So there are two functions composed each other. What is what? H and g. What is h? Necessarily the quadratic, and h the exponent to the power of x. So two functions composed. When you go to d, again linear function and exponential are composed. D. What is a linear function? 5x plus, like you can consider this one as x. 5x plus 3. But what is the inner one? The inner one is to the power of x. So I can take g of x is equal to the power of 2x. What about h of x? H of x, I can say it is the same as 5x plus 3. Because in place of x, we can replace this. When you say now h of g of x, what is g of x? G of x is to the power of x. Then that number will be replaced in place of h of x. So two functions composed each other and give you this result. What are those two functions? To the power of x, g of x, like the outer one, and the inner g of x will be to the power of 2x, and the h of x is 5x plus 3. The last one, the power of 4. That means two quadratic are composed each other. So f of x is the same as h of g of x. So what are two functions composed and give you this result? I can say g of x are x squared, and h of x, you can take x squared minus 6x plus 6. Okay, because if you substitute this one here, it will be x squared square root of x power of 4. Again, if you substitute this result here, it's going to be 6x squared. So when you say h of g of x, what g of x is replaced and give you this result? When you see this is like longer term, I mean, three terms are there, but where it has to be, in case of variable, it is a variable exponent. There is common pattern, power of 4 and the power of 2. So it's a multiple of 2. So I can take x squared, then square it here, and this one quadratic. Both of them anyways quadratic. When two quadratic composed, it will give you degree 4. So this is answer for question number 7. This pattern, try to please take correction. And let's go to question number 8. Question number 8, f of x is given to you here for x plus 1 and g of x is given to you 3x plus k. So for what values of k? For x is equal to g of x. Let's do it. Here nothing I can do, simply process it. F of g of x is equal to g of f of x. It's given to you already. It says they are equal. For what values of k? The two equal. Okay, let's equalize and continue. It means f of what's g of x? 3x plus k must be equal to g of what's f of x? For x plus 1. Then f, what does f do? Multiply by 4 then r. So this whole thing will be multiplied by 4 then r1, because f4, we are talking about f of this thing. So whole this thing will be multiplied by 4, because the f4, what does it? F of x, remember, f of x is equal to 4x plus 1, right? So when I say f of y, it will be 4y plus 1. When I say f for something, what will happen? For something plus 1. So consider this one like something. So 4 times 3x plus k, then plus 1 is equal to, let's go to the right side. The right side is g of. Okay, what does g of x do? Multiply by 3, then rk. So the whole thing will be multiplied by 3. 3 times 4x plus 1, then plus k. Then finalize it, multiply 12x plus 4k plus 1 is equal to, here also finish it, 12x plus 3 plus k. Now these are linear function both. This is the left hand side I can say, and this one is the right hand side. They are already equal and they are linear. That means the x family here has to be equal to the x family here. Obviously, as you see, they are all equal already, so you can ignore this one. And what the constant term here to the left side? The constant term is 4x plus 1. If the constant term is 3k, 3 plus k, so we have to equalize the two because already they are equal already. So 4k plus 1 is equal to 3 plus k. Then reshuffle, bring the k here. It means 4k minus k will be, when I bring the k from the other side is equal to, shift the 1 to the other side, 3 minus 1. 4k minus k will be 3k, which is 2. Then k is equal to, divide both sides by 3 over 3. That is the number that we are looking for. So this is somehow interesting question, and it has to be clear for you. So you can rewind and watch the video again and try to explore additional question this way. Okay, next question. Let's go to number 10. Number 9. Question number 9, f of x is given to you and find g of x. But g of f of x, it has to be x. So the composition of the two, this is linear, by the way. Linear function. They are the outcome. So two functions composed and give you linear means the first one already linear. So f is already linear. And g of f of x also linear. That means necessarily, what does this imply? G must be linear. So I can say g of x is equal to mx plus n. Linear function will be represented by x plus b or mx plus n or whatever it is. So that let's continue. G of f of x, it's already given to x. So g of what's f of x? Ax plus b is equal to x. What does g do? It will multiply by m, because g of x means mx plus, this is by let, just let, we say. Logically, f is linear, we said. the composition of G and F is also linear, so necessarily G must be linear, we said. So from that we start and we say G of X, let it be mx plus b. Then what does the G do? Multiply by m, then add. So multiply this thing by m times ax plus b, then plus n is equal to x, then finish it, max plus mb plus n is equal to x. That means now the coefficient of x here, it has to be the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x. That means ma must be 1. M times a, it has to be 1. Okay. The next one, mb plus n. mb plus n is equal to 0. That means mb is equal to negative n. Can't shift it. Okay, so our objective is to get m and to get n, so that we can get m from here. We can divide by a both sides. If you divide by a, what you'll have, m remains. M is equal to 1 over a. M in terms of a, because the a and the b already know. We have to consider like it's already known number. We can take f of x as a given function, and then from this we can get the m value. We got it already, so our objective is to get n. So n is equal to negative m over b, which is, what is m? 1 over a. So it's going to be negative 1 over a. In place of m, if we substitute 1 over a, 1 over a means it will be denominator together. So what will be G of x? You can replace and check, by the way, here. Okay, let me replace and show you better. Okay, let me start from here. What will be n? Our objective is to get n now here, because m value we got it already. Shift this one to the other side. What will be negative m, which is, what is m? 1 over a times b. There is negative here, don't forget, which is negative b over a. So n value is equal to negative b over a. That is the answer. The previous answer was not correct. This is the correct one. What did I do? I'm trying to get the n, because m I got it already here. So what did I do? I shift this one to the other side. It will be negative mb. What is m? 1 over a times b. The negative remains. So negative 1 times b will be negative b over a. So we got n, we got m 1 over a, b negative b over a. Don't forget again, once let me repeat from the beginning. G of x equal to x is this. G of means g of f of x is equal to x. What's f of x? Ax plus b. G of ax plus b. What is g? Mx plus n. So I just substitute this one in place of x. So m times this thing plus n equal to x. Then m multiply mx plus mb plus n is equal to x. Then what did I do? At this point, remember what I did like previously. There are two functions, left hand and right hand. To the right side, only x there. To the left hand, there are x families and constant. The x family coefficient is ma, and the x family to the right side, the coefficient is 1. So I take ma is equal to 1. Then I divide by a both sides, and I got the m. The other one, the constant term to the right, to the left side is mb plus 1. This whole will be like constant term. What about the right side? There is no constant. That means it is 0. That's why I make it equal to 0. Then to get n, I shift this one to the other side. mb will be shifted. It will be negative mb. But what's m? 1 over a. So 1 over a times b means negative b over a. So we got m 1 over a, and we got n negative. Therefore, okay, let's come to here. M value 1 over a, and b value negative. N value negative b over a. We got it. Therefore, what is G of x already we said? G of x is equal to mx plus n, we say, which is, what's m? 1 over ax minus b over a. It should be like that. So f of x was what? It was ax plus b. So observe the relationship here. The composition of two functions to give you x. This is the inverse. If you try to find the inverse of this function, how to find the inverse of this function, we will discuss in the next lesson. But the two functions, they will be inverse each other. That means g of x is the same as f inverse of x. So if two functions are inverse each other, when you compose them, the result will be x. So how to find the inverse of this function f? That's our next lesson. But if you try, like after I show you that one, you have to get back and check it. So if you find the inverse of this function, you'll get this result. So if two functions are inverse each other, that means when you compose them, the result will be x. Obvious. This one is a general rule. So this is g of x anyways. Okay. The last one. The last question. One question left. That is question number 10. It says f of x is here and g of x is here. Shows that fog x is not equal to of x. That means they are not inverse each other. Okay, let's show that. It says simply show that the composition of f compose g and g compose f are not the same. So f of g of x is not equal to g of f of x. That's our objective. Simply substitute f of what's g of x to x plus 3 is not equal to g of what's f of x? X power 4. What does f do? Because f do, it will make like the power of 4. Anything you input, take as an input for f, it will make it the power of 4. So 2x plus 3 will be the power of 4. That is the f will do, whatever the power variable we input. And g, what does the g rule says? Take whatever as an input, then multiply by 2, add 3. So 2 times x the power of 4 plus 3. Are they equal? No. Because this is the power of 4 means you have to multiply this one 4 times. They are not equal. So we showed. You can say it's proved or showed. They are not equal, obvious. So that's the way how you are going to calculate the previous homework, the correction. Good luck. If you have any question, you can ask me anytime. Thank you.